Criminal cases can often have surprising twists and turns. Today, we are looking at a very famous case that is particularly shocking and so strange that you might think it's from a movie script rather than real life. Friends, this story is 100% true. Let's dive into it. But before we start the video, please click the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified when we release a new video. 13-year-old Hailey Dunn went missing on December 27, 2010, around 3:30 p.m. According to resources, Sean Atkins, her mother's boyfriend, was the last person to see her. Hailey Dunn belonged to a very small town of around 4,000 people in Colorado City, Texas. She was a very bright and energetic teenager who always had a big smile on her face. Hailey was a funny girl and she always loved to joke around. She was very confident and never hesitated from speaking her mind. Her teachers from school remember her as a cheerleader, a successful player, and a competitive athlete. She was into sports, that by the time she reached the 8th grade, she was playing on the volleyball, basketball, and softball teams. Hailey Dunn was only 10 years old when her parents separated. She and her elder brother, David, lived with their mother, Billy Dunn, and her boyfriend, Sean Atkins. They lived on Chester Street in Colorado City, Texas. On the 28th of December 2010, Sean Atkins told authorities that on the day of Hailey's disappearance, he was fired from his work and went to his mother's house in Big Spring. He came back around 3 p.m. when Hailey was going to her friend's house, but sadly, she never made it. That was the last time he saw her. On Wednesday, 29th December, authorities went to Clinton Billy's house, Hailey's father, and searched for clues but found nothing. Later that day, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children was involved in the case and tried to find Hailey by using tracking dogs. The dogs managed to track Hailey's scent throughout the neighborhood, which eventually led them to a nearby motel. Authorities asked the staff about Hailey Dunn, but the staff didn't recall seeing her or anyone from her family. They checked the surveillance footage, but nothing was found. Right after Hailey Dunn was reported missing, Billy Dunn and Sean Atkins threw a New Year's Eve party. However, during media appearances, both Billy Dunn and Sean Atkins pleaded for Hailey's safe return. On the 4th of January 2011, Texas Rangers and the FBI got involved in the disappearance of Hailey Dunn, and a day later, billboards with Hailey's pictures and missing information were put up across parts of Texas. On the same day, Billie Jean Dunn, Hailey's mother, failed a lie detector test about the disappearance of her daughter Hailey. Police did not reveal the details. It was then her boyfriend, Sean Atkins' turn. The first 2 times he failed the test, got up and walked out of the room, but on the 3rd try, investigators said he showed deception, and the test indicated that Atkins is telling the truth. 2 bombshell questions that could break the case wide open. They asked him where they could find Hailey, and he said somewhere in Scurry County. They then asked him who they should be looking at, and he said us, meaning Sean and Billy. On the 15th of January 2011, cadaver dogs searched the landfill in Abilene for human remains, but nothing was found. Authorities later searched the landfill in Big Spring, the town where Atkins' mother used to live. For 2 months, they continued the searches in Colorado City, but nothing was found. On the 25th of February 2011, authorities found a memory stick in Billy's home filled with thousands of pictures of child pornography and several documents about serial killers. After they proceeded with the investigation, cell phones and bank records belonging to both Sean and Billy were analyzed. Sean's previous place of work was also looked at, and it turned out that Sean had never been fired from his job after all. His boss told the investigation team that on the 27th of December, Sean turned up for work at 6 a.m. But instead of starting his shift, he brought a drink, handed in his uniform, and quit his job. He drove away at 6:10. Sean later admitted that he lied about getting fired to avoid an argument with Billy and told the detectives that he went straight to his mother's house, but cell phone records showed a different story. Hailey's brother David also told investigators that when he returned home on the 27th of December, at around 4 p.m., he found that the door was locked, and when he managed to get through the window, he found Sean standing in the hallway looking like a deer in headlights. On 17th March 2011, authorities went to Billy and Sean's house once again to talk to Sean, but Billy said he wasn't there. When officers entered the home using the warrant they obtained, turned out he was hiding in the house. And so, lying to the police about Sean Atkins' whereabouts, Billy was taken into custody. On the 30th of March 2011, Colorado City authorities held a press conference saying they are investigating the case as if Hailey is deceased or under duress. On the 15th of June 2011, Billy was given a year of probation, and reports say she and Atkins moved to Austin. On July 12, 2011, new documents were revealed that made Sean Atkins a person of interest in the case, as affidavits said that Sean Atkins had previously threatened Billy Dunn and Hailey's life back in February 2010. A whole year passed since Hailey went missing, and a year later Billy Dunn broke up with Sean Atkins, and they both went their separate ways. Billy also told authorities that she started to believe that Sean was involved in her daughter's disappearance. Another year passed with no movement in Hailey's case. On the 16th of March 2013, a hiker found human remains 20 miles away from Colorado City, near Lake J.B. Thomas in Scurry County, southwest of Snyder. And a month later, on the 26th of April 2013, Scurry County officials confirmed the identity. But authorities did not confirm the cause of death. Clinton said that he was told by investigators that Hailey has most likely died from blunt force trauma. Authorities had announced a $15,000 reward for any information leading directly to the arrest of the killer or killers of Hailey Dunn, but no one came forward. The case got a turn when Clinton's many appeals on social media got the attention of an anonymous person who reportedly found several items belonging to Hailey Dunn. How did that happen? During the late spring, early summer of 2011, the person who found the items was in middle school at the time and had no knowledge of Hailey and her disappearance. And because of this, he did not tell the authorities about what he had found. In 2019, this person saw one of Clinton's social media posts about Hailey, and it was only then when he remembered what he had found. He immediately reached out to Clinton to tell him the items he found, but the location has not been publicly revealed. According to Clinton's statement, they were found in an area that was searched countless of times in the initial stages of the investigation. Private investigator Erica Morse was working closely with Clinton since his daughter disappeared. Erica said she found some evidence and spoke to officials and said they had been silent since Hailey's remains were found. She said they would not return her calls or update anyone on whether there was any movement in the case. In 2019, Erica said she began receiving messages from women in and around West Texas who were being harassed online by a man going by the name Casey. Somehow, she knew it was Sean Atkins, as his middle name was Casey. She asked the victims to send videos and photos to her that he had sent to them. They confirmed that it was him. On the 28th of October 2019, Erica accompanied one of the women that was being harassed by Sean to the police department to make a report, but they were turned away by an officer who accused the victims of fabricating the story. This pushed Erica to pen an open letter urging that if Sean wasn't arrested soon, more victims would undoubtedly follow, but nothing happened. In 2020, the district attorney for the 32nd Judicial District, Ricky Thompson, consulted with the Texas Rangers Unsolved Crimes Investigation Program regarding the case. The Texas Rangers reviewed the case and identified Sean Atkins as a suspect in Hailey's disappearance. The Texas Rangers obtained a search warrant to collect Atkins' DNA. In May 2021, Hailey's case took a big turn when Erica heard from the Mitchell County District Attorney, and they requested a meeting with her and Hailey's father, Clinton. During that meeting, they were assured that in June, Hailey's killer would be arrested. On June 13th, an arrest warrant was issued, and with this, More than a decade after Hailey Dunn was reported missing and 7 years after her remains were found, an arrest was finally made. Sean Atkins has been arrested on charge of murder. He was taken to the Howard County Jail in Big Spring before being transferred to the Mitchell County Detention Center. According to online jail records, Sean Atkins was being held on a $2 million bond. After his arrest, Hailey's mother spoke out. "I'm not shocked at the news that it was Sean. Of course, you would have hoped it wasn't him, because I stayed with him after she left. But I'm not surprised, and I thank God that that person has been apprehended and is going to pay for what he did here on Earth. He's been free to do whatever he wants. My family has suffered without Hailey. She has missed out on graduation, driving, going to college, and her career. I've missed out on so much." Sean Atkins has not yet entered a plea, and court records do not reflect any attorney authorized to speak on his behalf. Sean Atkins has been in custody nearly 11 years. 11 years after Hailey's murder. But the Mitchell County Attorney Office has largely kept quiet since his arrest, as they believe the integrity of the case should be preserved until a time that it can be properly presented in a court of law. Hailey Dunn's funeral was held in 2017 at a private family gathering. The day brought tears of many emotions, but the family said they were grateful to bring Hailey home. But how long can anyone get away with such a crime? For 10 years without any help whatsoever. Tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon for more videos like this. That's it for today. See you in the next video.